Hi, Scorpio. This is Lost Twin Tarot. My name is Colette, if you've never viewed me before. Scorpio, this is your weekly reading for May the 20th through the 26th. This is a general reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising placements for Scorpio. Just take the pieces that resonate and leave the rest. Scorpio, when I was meditating on your cards, I feel like you always feel like you have to do everything alone. You don't ask for help. You prefer things to do it. You prefer to do everything alone. Some of you like to work alone, do things at your house alone, drive alone, everything you like to do, you like to be alone. Maybe on the exception of maybe like one other person with you. The but Spirit's saying that you don't have to do this alone. I feel like there's certain circumstances where you do need help or you do need somebody and you need to at times you know that you need to let people in or you know that you need help and you know you need support but you might not have any or you just don't know how to reach out or you just don't know how. I feel like you feel like you're a lone wolf and you want to reach out to people but I feel like you just haven't anytime you go try to reach out to people you just feel like it never goes well. They never turn out to be really the people that you like or they turn out to be like phony, or that was the Two of Pentacles, or they you just can't get in a flow with them. You just they just never seem like your kind of people. Um and you just end up saying like you just prefer to be alone. And I feel like, but then you realize when it comes a time where you need people in your life, you're like, oh, I really need somebody right now. I feel like some of you definitely have your heart broken. This could be about a parental figure or a past partner or whatever this is. I definitely feel like it's something like that. I feel like some of you definitely could be like abandoned, feel abandoned. Spirit is saying to open up to and show your vulnerability, even if it's like in baby steps. Because maybe sometimes you look a little bit maybe standoffish. Let's see what we have for you, Scorpio. You have the Three of Wands, you have the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Hermit, you have the Two of Pentacles. The, the those two wanted to come out. The Nine of Swords with the Devil, and you have the Moon. And you have the Nine of Cups on the bottom. You have the Three of Wands with the Five of Swords. You have the Ten of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands. You have the Hermit with the Queen of Pentacles. You have the Two of Pentacles with the Five of Pentacles. With the I'm sorry about that. You have the Devil and the Nine of Swords with the Eight of Wands. And with the Moon, you have the Page of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Cups. And I'm going to pull three of these Lenormand cards because it seemed like they were pretty good last week. You have number 3, Ship, Travels, Vehicles, Movement, Journey, Change, and Distance. Maybe some of you are traveling, especially with that Three of Wands card. Sometimes that can represent travel or movement, even physical. It doesn't have to represent physical movement. You have number 32, the moon, praise, feeling, emotion, intuition, and inspiration. Any of these numbers could be significant to you as well. You have number 15, bear, power, boss, courage, leadership, finances, and protection. All right, so let's see what is going on for you, Scorpio. So you have the Three of Wands and the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords represents that petty energy that you really can't win. It represents the energy of winning at all cost. Now, this can represent your energy, Scorpio, or somebody that you have dealt with in the past. I feel like this is an energy that most likely you could have dealt with, Scorpio, because in a lot of ways, Scorpio, I feel like sometimes, depending on the depending on your majors in your chart, most of the time, Scorpios that I've dealt with, it depends. They're usually more quiet and usually they don't want to usually unless they can be really hot-headed depending if you get them really really mad, but they feel like they usually only fight to ones they like are really close to, it seems like. But usually they kind of just leave it alone. They don't want to mess with it. And I feel like that's the energy you are dealing with. I think this was probably almost like you just couldn't deal with it. Almost like fighting with a brick wall type of person. And with the Three of Wands, I feel like you just kind of turned your back on them and just moved on. I think you didn't want to move on from this person at first, but in a way, or maybe they turned their back on you. And now you just kind of moved on. I feel like I've said this to you before, Scorpio, but at the same time, I feel like they still weigh heavy in your heart. Some of you, I feel like this can be a person or a circumstance where if this isn't a person, it's a situation where it really kind of cuts you deeply. Where maybe this is something where you put a lot of effort into this, if this was like a job or something, and if you were let go or you were done dirty or a dirty business deal, whatever this is for you, I feel like this is something that really just hurt you badly. Um, in a way, I feel like this was maybe a parent-child thing. With his red cloak on, he's supposed to be like a young emperor. So to me, so it's almost like a son type of thing, or like a child. So son, daughter, whatever this is. So someone like in the family. With that number 3 card, you have the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the number 3 card, the ship. So it says travel, vehicle, movement, and I feel like that's what you're doing. You're trying to move on from this, but in a way, like what I was saying when I was meditating on your cards, I feel like you've almost boxed everything out. You've boxed everybody out. I feel like when you let yourself be vulnerable, sometimes people don't understand you. They don't get what you're talking about, and there's only very few people that could really understand you. Almost like the people who almost fit the same description of the person who kind of did this to you, like almost like mirroring the same person. Like if it was a mother, it would be a like mother-like figure who could help you with this. If it was like a type of, I maybe like if it was like a partner, it would be like a partner, but they would have to fit some of the almost like the same type, maybe like look the same, but be completely the same, but completely different when it comes to the way they acted, different mannerisms and things like that. Next, you have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, and the Tens are all about completion. I feel like this is everything that you want in life, Scorpio, with the Ten of Pentacles. This is what you're striving for: money, a home, family. And this can be different for all of you. Maybe if you don't want a family, this is what you are. We all have our different types of things. It's a legacy. So whatever it is for you, it's pretty much the whole package of whatever the whole package that we are dreaming of. So if it's a big house, if it's a big luxury apartment in the city, if it is writing our own book, whatever it is for you. And the Ten of Wands, I feel like, but you're doing this all by yourself and you're completely burnt out. You're doing this all alone and you're just getting burnt out. And not only that, whether you're doing this alone physically, you're doing this alone mentally because you have really nobody, you can feel like you have nobody to vent to. You have nobody to vent to. And if the people you do have to vent to, maybe they're a little bit shallow. Maybe they're shallow. Maybe they're one of those people who kind of are like, oh, that's nice. And then they kind of cut you off and then like, well, let's talk about me. And then you're just like, and you're not getting, you just feel like, okay. And you feel like you got nowhere with them. And even if it's like you just feel like you're getting nowhere. You just feel like you're running on empty constantly. But then because you're a Scorpio, you just keep going because that's just who you are. Next, you have the Hermit and you have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles could be the person that you could have potentially been dealing with, or this could be you if you are maybe if you have some Capricorn in your chart. It doesn't have to, or if you have some Virgo in your chart with the Hermit. Now, the Hermit is all about that solitude, that looking within. The Hermit represents travel as well. So maybe you are going on this small journey or you're trying to take some time out. Maybe your boss is saying, look, you got to take some time off. You're starting to burn yourself out and you're like, no. And they're like, no, you let's take some time off. You have way too much vacation time or something like that. And you're like, all right. And you're trying to figure everything out. You're taking some time out. But the Hermit is all about really just trying to figure out. He's stuck there on that mountain. He's frozen and he's just looking at the inner light. And you're really just thinking, maybe you're just kind of thinking, well, what am I supposed to do? I like to keep things to myself. That's what I like to do. I'm Scorpio. I like to keep things to myself. I'm not one to be shining my light and just being open and, vulnerable and, showing my feelings all over the place, right? And with the Queen of Pentacles, she's standing there, she's looking out this window, much like how the Hermit is. And I feel like that's what you could be doing. You could be taking some time to reflect, think about how to really embrace your vulnerability. Because what are we supposed to do with that? How do we embrace our vulnerability? How do we put our emotions out there without really feeling judged or how people are going to react? And it's because it's a little bit scary because we don't know how people are going to react. I live in a very odd area where a lot of it's a lot of people who, I don't know how to, can you say that? I guess a lot of Karens. I guess, can you say that without, I guess, I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that, and people are very judgmental. They're very, yeah, it's a lot of that. And it can be very hard to even associate with anybody. I guess that's why I do this channel. Anyway, so next we have number 30, and we have 32, the moon. It says praise, feeling, emotion, imagination, intuition, inspiration. And I think that's what you are really doing. Praise, feeling, emotion. I feel like you could be getting in touch with your emotions. Maybe you're doing maybe you're doing meditating. Maybe you're really just doing some deep meditation and really trying to, maybe art therapy, maybe spending some time outside, even outside at nighttime, getting a feel for the moonlight. We have that full moon coming up this week of the 26th. and really getting a deep feel in nature. Maybe you're spending time by water. Water's really good to spend time by, especially for water signs. And just really trying to understand. You might not understand all the past, but I'm sorry, I'm really chatty today. I hope I'm not dragging this out. Next, you have the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. With the Two of Pentacles that came out before, I feel like you're just up and down in your emotions sometimes. You don't know what you want. You're not really sure. I feel like this is also just you juggling just everything by yourself. You're just all alone. The Five of Pentacles, she's inside the house and it's all cold. And I think you're just looking outside like you've just been left out in the cold. I really don't feel like this is money really too much for you, Scorpio, because you don't really ever seem like you have a problem getting money, making money, spending money as fast as it comes in, as fast as it comes out. It's like it just keeps rolling in. You always seem like you have no problems with money with that Five of Pentacles card. I think it's just one of those things where you feel like you've been left and you really just aren't really, I think you've just been left without answers and you're just not sure how to go about it. I feel like and this isn't going to resonate for all of you, so just take that into consideration. This reading might be a little bit specific. So for some of you, if this isn't resonating, just take the pieces that resonate. Maybe if you're not feeling abandoned, maybe some of you are just doing things all by yourself and you need a little bit more help and some support. Maybe you do have a great support system, but you have had a little bit of abandonment in your past. It's going to be different for all of you. Next, you have that Nine of Swords and that Devil. But the Eight of Wands is here, though. So I feel like this is almost one of those things where you have this anxiety, you have this blockage. This is the type of energy where you could be kind of up in your bed at night or just having that repeat of that blockage going on over and over again. But with the Eight of Wands, this is a positive card here. It's under the number 15 Bear card: power, boss, courage, leadership, finances, and protection. So I feel like you are protected and you do have the courage and there is some sort of leadership. I feel like you've always had leadership going on. I almost want to pull another card with that, but we'll see. But this is positive energy. The Eight of Wands is also about change, though. It almost looks like shooting stars coming down there. Next, you have the Moon and you have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is all about an exciting energy, something about to get excited for. The Moon is also about not really knowing what's ahead, but it's also about your emotions, just like that Moon card: praise, feeling, emotion. I think you're following your intuition also this week, and I think you're following your intuition and you're just staying on your path, but you're doing it a little bit differently. You could be with that black cat. You're still being the same old Scorpio that you've always been, but I feel like you're putting yourself on display a little bit more. Let's see what else we have for you. What is the Five of Swords and the Three of Wands? To want to come out. You have the King of Wands. King of Wands is all about taking action, with it being on the bottom there. You have the Devil again, and you have the Chariot. So the Devil, again, another type of that blockage, that toxic energy, whatever it is. You could have Capricorn in your chart, though, or you could be dealing with a Capricorn, or this person you were dealing with could have been a Capricorn. But then you have the Chariot. The Chariot's all about a victory. It's all about journey as well, or travel. So some of you definitely could be going on some type of, maybe you're doing some type of spiritual journey to figure whatever this is out for you. What's the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands? You have the Four of Swords, and you have the Seven of Wands on the bottom. And the Four of Swords, again, with that 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, like I was saying, again, you could be taking some time out, whether this is deep meditation, whether this is a retreat, relaxation, time off. I definitely feel like some of you could be, that's right in the tail end going into that Memorial Day weekend. So some of you could be going away from Memorial Day, taking advantage of that extra day off on Monday. What is this one wants to pop out. What is, you have the Emperor on the bottom there. With the Hermit and the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Star. And just like the Star in the Hermit's Lantern, you have that Star card. So I feel like if you are taking some sort of retreat or hope or just type some sort of renewal or whatever it is for you, you are trying to gain another, you're trying to gain another view on things. You're trying to gain some more faith, more hope in whatever this is for you. But I do feel like you are trying to have a change in your life. And this doesn't have to be a drastic change. I do feel like you could be feeling just a little bit, not lost, but I do feel like you could be feeling a little bit disconnected and you want a positive change in your life. I feel like you do want some support. I feel like you like how things are. I feel like Scorpio likes to do things alone because that's how he likes it. That's how she likes it. That's how they like it. But I do feel like maybe at times there are times where you're like, maybe I wish I had a group, a tribe, a person, whatever this is for you, or a better understanding of why this is the way it is. And like I said, it's not going to resonate for all of you, so just take the pieces that do. With the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, you have the Page of Swords on the bottom, and you have the King of Swords. Maybe some of you are a Libra, Scorpio cusper with that King of Swords, with that Libra energy. I also feel like with that Page of Swords on the bottom, this is something that you have been dealing with or learning for a while with her on the bottom there. She's like learning. The Page of Swords is like a student, a studious energy. But the King of Swords is a master. He's the master of the tarot. He's like he's the smartest one, especially with that Bear card, leadership, protection, boss, power. So I feel like you're gaining a lot of, you're almost becoming a master of this idea or this understanding of things. With the Devil, the Nine of Swords, Eight of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. So you have the Queen and the King of Swords next to each other. Now, a lot of people don't like that. You have the Five of Cups on the bottom. Sometimes this can represent a couple that didn't work out so well, or sometimes this can represent a parent, a a a, a set of parents that were unfair to you or cold to you. If that resonates, it doesn't have to. But even in this King of Swords, Queen of Swords, they're both in this, they're both like covered in snow. And lastly, with the Moon and the Page of Wands, Scorpio, you have the Six of Cups and you have the Page of Cups on the bottom. So I feel like this is something, Page of Cups, it's something that you have been thinking about. Page of Cups is something about manifestation. It's all about bringing something back down. It's all about that as above, so below. This is about your deep emotions as well. That little child is looking at that whale deep in the aquarium there. it's something that you have been wondering, or really just I feel like you've been just I feel like you've just it's been in your subconscious for a long time, whatever this is for you. And then you have the Six of Cups, which is all about this card is so whimsical in a way. I feel like you do want some sort of more of a more lighter energy in your life. Maybe things have been a little bit heavy for you, especially if you've been doing things all by yourself. I feel like you do want things lighter, especially with all those hot air balloons. Think about a balloon, it's much lighter, brighter, and that card just is there's kids down there, if you can see them. They're kind of just looking up like so I'm not I'm not sure if this is going to resonate for everybody, but it definitely seems like it's something that you could maybe be traveling or doing a small getaway, Scorpio, and you could definitely be maybe doing a little bit of soul searching, I feel like. You can be maybe just trying to maybe get some more support, being a little bit more vulnerable, or just trying to ease your way into ease your way into opening up to different different people and things like that, maybe not being so closed off. I know it's easier said than done because it's definitely hard being an introvert. I'm an introvert myself, so I'm going to leave it there for you. I'm sorry this reading was so long. Thank you so much for viewing me today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Until then, I definitely hope to see you at the next read, and definitely enjoy your week. Thanks. Bye.